Uh-oh, which American city has the most strip clubs? Hello, this is ChatGPT today. Well, this is kind of maybe an off-the-topic post here about which city has the most strip clubs, but it may be interesting to understand where culture is going, and maybe even for those that don't have any moral issues. Is this industry an interesting business to get involved with? Well, regardless of those moral questions, let's take a look at it. First, to answer that question, which city has the most strip club? Well, we can see Houston, followed by Portland, and you can't think, well, there's no really political differences here, so it's just, but obviously it's in major cities, followed by Los Angeles, New York City, and oddly enough, Las Vegas is half of what Houston is, and then followed by a bunch of other cities there. Looking at the overall what they call gentleman clubs industry, and you look at it and you think, well, first of all, it's you look at the different sales, they don't necessarily focus on the strip club aspects. They're trying to sell alcohol, food, and things like that. But if you look at the trend line growth, it's not dramatic. They have this, about a 6.6% increase. So if you're looking for an industry, at least as far as strip clubs go, it's probably not a fantastic business, and probably the cities probably make no difference whether Houston wins that or not. It's probably more about what the local laws and permits will go. Some cities will be more receptive to others. Maybe that tells me more about the local governance as opposed to anything else. You look at the actual customer base of these gentlemen clubs, and it's mostly VIP clients as opposed to just bachelors hanging out at the strip clubs. So that kind of tells you what they use these a lot of times for business connections, which is interesting in itself. Of course, the biggest competition for strip clubs will be the online. And here again we see, even through COVID, the online porn business it's steadily growing. So the takeaway on these businesses, they're not fantastic, but on the other hand, they're a steady growth industry. So jumping into these kind of industry, you're not getting into a big wave of a new growth in terms of whether it be strip clubs or online. Then you look at the one area, though, that might be, and we'd ask the AI on this, and of course it features this heavily, is the one area that might be growth area is in the sex toys. So this includes apparatuses, virtual reality, AI. These are the growth areas, and if you want to get into this business, that's where the real growth is. And typically if you want to be in business, you want to be in business of something that has got a huge growth potential. The mainstream strip club porn is pretty well saturated, and it'll have just minor growth. So there's a tip for you there in terms of pure business aspects. Again, whether the moral issues are there, that's another issue. There'll be heavy regulations on these kind of industries. You're going to face that. Probably not one of the better industries to get into, though some people do make a lot of money into it. Give us your take on this. Is the porn industry set for an explosion or not? And what you think, whether or not it's a good idea or a bad idea to get into business with these things. Don't forget to subscribe.